guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Bitten, Season 1, Episode 13, and this is the season finale of Bitten, and the end of Werewolf Monday, because Being Human just ended today, series finale. I don't know where Bitten's going, because it hasn't been renewed for a Season 2 yet, and I see that fans are trying petition for Season 2, so I guess it depends on the ratings on Space TV where the show actually airs, and I guess how Sci-Fi really likes the show too, but since it is a acquired show from Canada, I'm pretty sure it has to do everything with Space TV. But yeah, so if you guys have any recommendations for TV shows, I only have Arrow to review right now, so if you have any recommendations, please tell me in the comments below. But let's talk about Bitten. This episode has actually some cliffhangers here, which if you want a Season 2 and if you're a fan of the show, you probably would want a little bit more of an ending. Yeah, you know, there's happy ending in this episode, but there are a lot of cliffhangers, like what's gonna happen next. But yeah, most of the episodes, the Packs versus the Mutts, you know, people are changing sides in this episode, and who does that? I'm not going to spoil that because I don't want to spoil everything of the show and of the episode, but there are people changing sides. Clay and Elena, they kind of get back together, they patch things up because, of course, Jeremy telling Elena the truth about Elena being turned into a werewolf. So yeah, Clay and Elena are able to patch things up. So for you shippers out there for Clay and Elena, that's definitely a happy thing. Rachel is the damsel in distress in this episode because she's pregnant and she doesn't want to be bitten by the werewolves, but the werewolves the Mutts keep kidnapping her. In the end of this episode, she does get kidnapped, and her boyfriend, which for some reason I can't think of his name right now, I always know his name, can't think of his name, but his boyfriend does go out to try to get her, and we don't know what happens with that. That's a total cliffhanger. So yeah, now Lena, everyone's happy because they defeated the Mutts, but we do know who is the head of this whole Mutt incorporation, and that was Jeremy's father. So I'm sure if we do have a Season 2, we'll explore more about Jeremy's father, and maybe why Jeremy's such a cool guy. He's very lenient with the Pack. He sees his Pack more as a family than he's the alpha. He, of course, sees himself as the alpha, but I think he really still understands the rest of his Pack, and he's more a father to them than anything than a boss, which is something I do enjoy about Jeremy's character. I think he's a very chill character in that way, but when things have to be done, he doesn't. I think that's totally proven in this episode, and it's nice to see that comparison with his father. So if there is another season, hopefully we will see more of Jeremy's father. And then the last part is that Philip is also a casualty. He did get axed, literally. We didn't actually see his death or really anything with him in this episode, but he just has a head in Elena's bed and she starts screaming, and that's how the episode ends. So yeah, like I said, there's some closure in this episode because we had the Mutts versus the Pack. The Pack wins, but then there's a lot of the cliffhangers where we get to see Rachel. We don't know what's going to happen to Rachel. Jeremy's father. What happened to Philip? And talking about Philip, I've talked about Philip a lot in my review series because I actually do like the character, and I don't know if why there was a point to the character if you weren't going to really utilize the character. And his ending, his send-off wasn't great, so I thought they were going to maybe have a better send-off in this episode. Well, he's dead, so there is no better send-off. So I was a little upset with Philip's death. I kind of wanted a little bit more with the character. I mean, like, I'm not a big person for love triangles, but I did like Philip and how it kind of grounded the series, but it just didn't seem like the show knew what to do with Philip at the same time. So maybe killing him off was a good thing. But why have Philip at all is the real question. What happened to his sister? That's still Lena's best friend, and we're going to see her in the next season also. So a lot of those questions I think are kind of plot holey in the season that they could have filled up throughout the season, but it was kind of messy throughout the series. I really liked Rachel's stuff. I think she's become a really cool, likable human character that I feel the show does need. Again, I think it could be a little bit overpowering if everyone is werewolves or are werewolves. So it's nice to have that character like Rachel. What's going to happen with her pregnancy, the mystery with that, and is Jeremy going to accept Rachel in the end being pregnant because yeah, because we see that werewolves usually don't accept the mothers. So I think that is interesting to see throughout the series, and that's something that we probably would have seen a little bit more in season 2 if we get a season 2. Again, I don't know. I really love the Mutt and Pack scenes. The fighting scenes were beautiful in this show. Well choreographed. I really think it, you know, overlooked show for its choreography, but it's really great. Definitely, I think it's the best choreography for the season right now and for the series was this episode. I think they did their fight scenes really well. The only complaint I had was probably the sunlight made it a little bit like, oh, what room are you in? I kind of want a more of a spatial area. I'm like, oh, I know you're in that room. I know you're in that room. I know you're Clay. Because sometimes the light would go in the face and you couldn't really tell who was who, where they were. So that could have been a little bit better in lighting situations. And but still, I did like the fighting scenes, and I thought the battle between the Mutts and Pack in general was really solid and really well done. I would probably give this a 4.5. I thought there's enough cliffhangers. Did it really shock me as a season finale? No. But I thought it was really good. You know, for Bitten, I thought this was really good. I thought it was a really good send-off. If this is the series finale, then I'm going to be pretty not upset, oh my god, I can't live anymore, but I'm going to be a little upset because I did dedicate, you know, these reviews and watched all of Bitten on time. So it'd be a little upsetting if they end it like that, because I'm like, oh, well, there's definitely more. They planned a lot more scenes. I think there was more cliffhangers than closure in this episode. But yeah, I'm going to give it, you know, I might change it to a 4.5. I'm going to, yeah, you know what, choreography was really good. I'm going to give it 4.5, but it's like more like 4.25. But yeah, I recommend Bitten overall. I think the show got a lot better towards the end. They kind of figured out who they were. And the show might be better to binge though, because there are some slow episodes. Again, there are a lot of plot holes throughout the show, especially with the Philip Toronto stuff. There's some predictable things with Elena going back to New York, then going to Toronto. So that's things they could have fixed, of course, in season 2, because it was only in their first season. But overall, I thought this was a really good finale for Bitten, and really hope that we get to see a season 2, because there was definitely enough cliffhangers to keep me interested. But please tell me in the comments below what you thought, and we'll see what happens with Bitten. So I'll see you guys later. This is Comic Uno. Guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the random situations, and don't forget to like my Facebook page, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.